Hey, what's up my spooky family? It's me, TaySpooky, and today we are going to talk about something really scary, and it is my Ouija board experience. This experience was my first time ever playing with a Ouija board, and it's so far been my last time playing with a Ouija board, and it left my best friend traumatized, and it left me not really traumatized because I still have the Ouija board here, so I guess not that traumatized. It's a spooky story. It's a weird story. Right before I get into it, I just wanted to say I did a Twitter poll, and yesterday when I uploaded the video, that video, my paranormal experiences, was winning at the time, and then today I looked and this video won, so I figured I'll make it today. If you're excited to hear this Ouija board experience, give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, click the subscribe button and become a part of the spooky family because we are growing rapidly. We're going faster than I thought this would grow. Without further ado, my Ouija board experience, and it actually took place at GOATMAN'Sbridge, which is also known as Old Alton Bridge, located in Denton, Texas. Since I made a video about this, if you want to see that video, it'll be linked down below. So if you want to go watch GOATMAN'Sbridge before the Ouija board experience, then you can go do that. My cat went in the closet, making me thinking I got demons and stuff. Me, my best friend, her boyfriend, and then one of her good friends and his girlfriend. So that's me, her boyfriend. That's 5 people. Went to go play with the Ouija board. And we went to GOATMAN'Sbridge because it's notoriously haunted by a demon. And it's just haunted in general. We wanted to see what we could conjure up. We wanted to see what we could play with. And it's actually kind of stupid on my side, being the knowledgeable one. I should have just not done it at that location, but we did take very, very many precautions. I typed out this entire sheet. I actually don't know where it went. I was really sad I lost it. I thought I had it with my Ouija board in the box, but I can't find it, so I don't know where it went. But it was adorable, and it was very detailed on what kind of steps to take playing with the Ouija board to keep us safe as you can be playing with the Ouija board. And I think it was pretty good. We get to GOATMAN'Sbridge. We have white candles. We put the white candles around the Ouija board to light it up because it was very dark, and we had me be the medium, so I asked the questions. Like, they would tell me if they had any questions prior, and I would ask the questions, and for a very long time we got zip nada. For like 30 minutes nothing happened, and that was on the bridge. It kind of seemed like at some points it wanted to, but it didn't have enough energy to, so it just didn't. And then along came this group of other people. I think it was 3 guys and a girl, so it was 4 other people, and they just wanted to watch. Like, they said, oh hey, can we watch? We've never seen this before. And we were like, yeah, sure, whatever, you can watch, just be quiet. And they ended up joining, like, not all of them, but like 2 of them ended up joining. So now there's 6 people with their fingers on the planchette, and it still wasn't doing anything. And everyone is like breathing, meditating, letting the energy flow through them, and, you know, being real quiet and calm. Nothing happened. So we decided to go deeper into the woods. It was like really creepy. It's like super creepy, and it was nighttime, and we were actually like really scared. It was really scary. Not from like demons or anything, like we were scared of animals. It was really spooky. And so we were out there, and at this point I think it's probably like 9 or 10 at night. I'm not sure. So it's the same people, like 6 people playing, and you know, it's the same thing. Seemed like it wanted to do something, but it really wasn't doing anything. And then all of a sudden we get a move, and you know, it's the classic, who's doing that? Who's moving it? Everyone's watching everyone's fingers, and then everyone's like barely touching it. We are barely touching it. I can say confidently, I think it was a entity. I don't think it was anyone, because we were watching them. You know, when you press down, you can see. When you press down, you can see it do that. None of them did that, and like they were all barely touching it to where they were like shaking. I had on my paper what to look for if a negative entity comes in, and that'll come to play here in a second. So we're talking to it, we're asking a question, is this Oscar Washburn or whatever, and it said yes, I believe. And then we said, how old are you? And I don't remember what age it went to. I don't think it went to an age. It either didn't go to an age or went to 0, I don't remember. And then we asked, like, do you hate that people come here looking for Goatman? And he said yes. And then so we apologized and we were like, we're sorry if, you know, we have offended you and made you angry in any way. We did not intend to do that. So we were being very, very polite. We weren't messing around. We weren't being inappropriate with the spirit. We were just like being very polite, asking questions. That it claimed to be Oscar. So one of the guys there had great-grandparents who were in on like the Underground Railroad and stuff. And he asked about, like, did you know them? And he said yes. And he's like, were they good people? And he said yes. This entity was gaining the trust of one of the people there. Not one of my friends, just like one of the rando people. And so that all happened. Then we start asking like generic questions. When did you die? Would you stop it? How did you die? Stuff like that. And it wasn't making any sense. It was like going to random letters. And then we asked about his family, and he pushed it. So on the Ouija board, when we started talking about family, it moved to this, where it has the people, you know, like a family. We were asking about kids and stuff, like his kids, like how old were his kids, and it wasn't giving us any ages or anything on it. So this is the Ouija board we used, and it would do things like it went to the sun, went to a letter, went to a number, went to a letter, went to the moon, went to the number, went to a letter. It wasn't making sense. So then it starts doing the 4 corners. And as soon as it started, it didn't do all 4, it did 3 of them. So it went, and it was going fast, so it went like this. And then it didn't go to the 4th corner. And if you already know about Ouija board things, if it does 4 corners, it's a bad spirit, entity, demon, just don't communicate with it. If it's doing figure 8s, don't communicate with it. If it's counting down, I'm getting goosebumps telling you guys about this. If it counts down the board, it's a bad energy and it's trying to get out of the board. So what ended up happening is it went to the 3 corners, and at that point I was like, no, it's doing the 4 corners. We're talking to something bad. We need to stop. And we all, at that point, all of us were like, this is not good. This is not a good energy. And he was like, oh, I think it's fine. He knew my grandparents. Like, he trusted it. Ooh, if you play with a Ouija board, if you're gonna do it, don't trust them, okay? You don't know what you're talking to. It can pose as anything. You don't trust them. They want to get into your life. If it's a negative energy, I'm not saying you can't use it for good and talk to them for good. I'm saying, like, they can manipulate you through that, and they can pose as other entities and loved ones and stuff, so just don't. And that's what he did. He trusted it, and he left like ecstatic about it. He was real, like, excited. Like, he at no point thought it was negative, and everyone else was like, nah, that's it. Cut the session. We're done. As soon as I said that, it here, and it started going like this. Like, so fast. And I think it got to 3. And I held down the planchette, and I said, we are ending the session. Goodbye. Do not follow us. And then we did the goodbye. So I ended the session before it stopped, and I told it, you are not allowed to come with us, and goodbye. So I closed out the session. We're leaving. I sage everyone. I saged the board, cleansed everyone, kind of did the white light around everyone, had them meditate while I was saging them. That's when, about a week later, my best friend tells me weird stuff's been happening. Nothing's been happening with me. I debated whether I should keep the board or get rid of it. I kept it. Nothing's happening. I cleansed it. Nothing happened. It's fine. Let me call her.
Hello?
Hey.
Hey.
I'm recording video from GOATMAN'S.
Okay.
The Ouija board one.
Okay.
Can you tell me your story? I tried to look through the text and it was a very long time ago and I forgot. And I got like halfway through the story and then I forgot the rest.
About the dream I had?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll text it to you. That way you can,
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Okay. So, got the story. It's a long story. So the story goes, right after the bridge, my best friend started having some bad experiences. So after the trip to the bridge, I was scared. You told me not to allow myself to be scared because the bad spirits can pick up on that and make me more vulnerable. So I stopped thinking about it, tried ignoring the feelings and whatnot. The night of, I was finally feeling 100% again. And I want to say 4 through 7 days after the trip, she had a really weird nightmare. So about about a week later, she ended up having this nightmare. Because she actually did forget about all of it. She like pushed those feelings way deep down. The nightmare started off pretty calm and normal. Me, you, her boyfriend, out at her parents' place in the country. Her parents live in the middle of nowhere. For some reason, we broke into groups of 2. You went with her boyfriend, and I went with this other person. We decided to go for a walk in the woods, kind of like what we did at the bridge. We were talking, me and this other person, and he kept bringing up the experience we had at the bridge. I'd try to change the topic to talk about other things, but he kept bringing back the conversation about the bridge. After taking note of this, I realized it was the guy from the bridge that we had met. I got really uncomfortable and I started to head back up to meet with you and her boyfriend. Keeping conversation short with this guy, as soon as we reached my parents' house, from the yard I saw that me and her boyfriend had just walked up. So we were all getting to the house at the same time. I'm so bad at reading. Now the guy from the bridge that walked with me was missing. Instantly after noticing this, the stars, which the stars at her parents' house are very visible because they live in the middle of nowhere, there's no lights, turned blood red and began to look like long exposure shots of the night sky. The stars were becoming aligned. Quickly after this, we heard some sounds coming from the dark around us, and in the low light, we saw a figure running towards us in a spiraling, unnatural motion. We all bolted in a different direction. My direction being toward the house, and the thing targeted her. So the thing was going after her. Me, her, and her boyfriend went different directions. She was running toward the house, and it was going for her. The thing targeted me, and I could feel it was really close as I was opening the door. I slammed it shut behind me and dropped to the floor, and then she woke up. She had a nightmare that essentially someone from the bridge was there that she'd forgot about, and he was asking questions, and he was like loving the results. She was very uncomfortable talking about it, but he was like pushing her to talk about it. And then when she did tell him what we did, he had a huge grin on his face, like a very unnatural large smile. And that dream like stuck with her. She doesn't like to really tell the story in person. She's okay with texting it, but she never really wants to say it in person. And that's what happened to her. And then I think after that she also heard a little girl's voice in her house whenever no one was home. So a little bit of weird stuff was happening, and I think now everything's pretty calm. Nothing's really happened. We did not keep in touch with the other people, so I don't know what happened with that one guy who trusted the entity. If you do play with the Ouija board, do your research. Be smart. You know, don't just go into it ignorant. I would say probably have someone there who knows what they're doing, but I mean, if you can avoid it altogether, avoid it altogether, because it can be nothing but bad news. People who know what they're doing can get positive results. I dabble in pendulums and tarot cards, so like it'd be very hypocritical for me to say that Ouija boards, when I use those things, are evil. So it all just depends on how you're using it, who's using it, what you're doing, and what you're trying to figure out. So be smart, do your research, don't go all ignorantly into it. Make sure you have yourself spiritually protected. That's very important, and make sure you're not taking anything home with you. That's all I got for you guys on this video. That's my Ouija board experience. Good night. Don't let the demons bite. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. If you did, give me a thumbs up because it helps a lot. It helps bump me up because I'm pretty low on the searching. But we are growing so fast, and this is a family that I love so much, my little ghosties. If you have any questions, comments, your experiences, comment, email. I got so many resources. Just talk to me. I want to know all your ghost stories. Alright guys, deuces.